watch out if your enemy's a road ahead of full prophecy to be the greatest beast the world has ever seen. I feed him every day like the bones clean. I feed him all the hate and he goes mean. He gets caught real big, pissed off quick, and if you cross him, you might drop dead. Metaphorically, of course, settling the score, never getting bored. Lots of blood and gold, always wanting more freedom from the source. They don't really listen until they feel it worth their blood in. You start shit, you be heartless in the darkness. Torn apart quick, you left scars ripped, you be chewed up and discarded. And this world ain't right, won't accept it. Negative energy, I expect it. Once it's in your mind, it's infectious. So fight for your life.
Most of us want a government that does its job and leaves us alone. The Trump administration is failing. Trump turned Elon Musk loose with a chainsaw. And what happened? Chaos. Musk slashed jobs at the Federal Aviation Administration. Now, air travel is worse than ever.
Newark International Airport experienced its third major equipment outage in less than 2 weeks over the weekend, causing problems not only in the New York area, but airports across the country.
Trump put a longtime heroin addict kook in charge of our nation's health. It's a clown show.
The country's deadly measles outbreak is getting worse.
New cases of the bird flu are raising alarms among health officials.
Trump put a Fox News talking head with a drinking problem in charge of America's defense, texting attack plans on his personal phone.
The Pentagon loses another $70 million fighter jet.
What's Donald Trump doing when he should be protecting our families? He's selling the Trump meme coin.
Trump's meme coin surged 50% yesterday. Why? Well, the president offered to host its top holders for a private dinner in Washington.
All we wanted was a government that worked. What did we get? Corruption and incompetence. Donald Trump. It's just not working.
Let's go. Coming in hot.
That's not even funny, dude.
Right. Welcome to another episode. I want to thank you guys all for a very supportive week. My live streaming has been a success so far. You got a lot of you guys have been showing up and hanging out with me for 2 hours at a time. And if
you guys are right,
I feel very special. I know, right? Don't you have do something? Go stop watching. Go outside. Just stop watching me. No, I'm
how about this? I'd rather people watch you 2 hours a day than watch the news 2 hours a day, because the mainstream media is just like not doing it lately.
Yep. And thanks to you guys that donated on my live stream yesterday. I literally just threw that together at the last minute. Everybody, some people hopped on and were like, I didn't know you were going live today. I was like, I didn't even know I was going live today. It was one of those moments at 3:15. I'm like, I'm going to go live at 4 with absolutely no plan whatsoever. So, all right, guys, we've been one of the channels that have been calling out Project 2025 since the beginning of the show. I mean, we talked about it before the show. The Mike originally, when we first met and started, I told him I want to focus on this. Like, this is
what are you talking about? What is this? Shut up.
Right. Because nobody was talking about it at the time. Very few people, well, not nobody, but very few people were talking about it at the time. I stumbled across it by accident. Somebody, I think it was either TikTok or Instagram, made a video about it, and I'm like, that cannot be. As I see, when I see things that I don't believe are real, I investigate to see if they are.
Oh, what? You
amazing,
don't just believe the first post that gives you confirmation bias? What?
Right. And ever since then, that was about 2 years ago, and ever since then, we've been doing this about 1.5 years. I've been focused solely on that, and not only them, but the Heritage Foundation in particular. So I think tonight's episode, we're going to focus on proving that the Heritage Foundation is, in fact, the shadow government that they've always talked about. I know we're going to, it sounds crazy, but
it's important to understand when we say shadow government, there's two aspects of that. One, we don't mean the deep state that the right talks about, because what the right is talking about when they say the deep state are the people that have done their jobs their whole lives, you know, the people that are lawyers or accountants that have just been in the government doing their job for 20, 30 years. That's who they think is the deep state, because they won't follow orders of Daddy Trump. Okay. Right. And the other thing is they use the term shadow government.
We have a video.
They're using the term to describe their actions as a parallel government hidden from public view to orchestrate how our government operates. They use those words, and we're going to show that. As
like
we've been
always,
doing.
we have receipts. Okay, so we may sound a bit kooky at the beginning of this, but by the end of this show, if you don't believe us, then maybe we've just failed at what we do.
How about this? If you don't believe us, go look it up yourselves.
Please do. I mean, please do. The Heritage Foundation, Kevin Roberts, Russ Vogt, them in particular are the ones that we want to focus on. I think they are using Donald Trump. They're using him to implement all these very unpopular policies. So when everything falls apart, they'll just blame him, and then JD Vance will come in and look like this knight in shining armor. So, oh, well, he's not crazy like Donald Trump is. Like, I think they're going to use Donald Trump as a patsy to 25th Amendment him. But by then, all this damage is already going to be done. You know what I'm saying? By then, it's going to be too late. So, but I think Donald Trump is
President Donut Shop in his place.
Right. I don't think our American clown king even realized that he's being used by literally everybody across the entire world.
I don't know if he knows where he is.
No, we have some videos
again,
of that.
I'm not just exaggerating. We have a video that we didn't find this. This is a video that's been actually playing everywhere for a week now.
Yeah.
Donald Trump doesn't even know where he is, and we'll show it to you.
We have like 14 videos to show you. We're going to focus on the fact that Donald Trump rarely explains the executive orders that he's signing. And when he does explain them, he sounds like a maniac, like when he talks about paper straws. And I have that video.
Or liquid gold.
Right. He's always looking to somebody to explain it. And once they get like a sentence or two into it, he just nods his head and signs it and then holds it up and goes, yeah, that's a good one. Okay.
Again, literally, that's what's happening.
Right. So that's what we're going to focus on this show. On Tuesday, then we're going to dive in, like I told you guys, like I promised, because you asked in the comments and we were responding. We're going to go into the big, beautiful bill and to show you how much exactly it aligns with that project, that 900-page Project 2025 transition playbook. Because remember, that playbook is a 6-month transition plan. It's not.
And guess where we are?
Right. We're 4 months in. That's why I keep saying we don't have time to mess around. Okay. So that transition playbook was a 6-month plan. It's not for Donald Trump's entire next term. It's literally for the first 6 months of his next term. So we need to start paying attention.
How about this? I'm going to give you all a massive preview. Okay. This is something that no one's ever imagined. This is something that, people resisted. They didn't want to accept. And it's sometimes, and I'm never going to shut up about it, political cartoons do the job better than anyone. This is what we are showing. Between today and Tuesday, we're going to show you not only how the Heritage Foundation has been planning to supplant our democracy with Christian nationalist fascism, but how Project 2025 wasn't just the playbook and the manual, but has now become the big, beautiful bill and is going to be put into law if Republicans do not find it in themselves to even pretend for one more vote that they have any respect for American democracy.
Right. See, that cartoon actually is not that cartoon, but the cartoon perfectly represents why I was so obsessed with Project 2025. Because the more I read about it, the more Nazi shit I saw. You know what I'm saying? Like
Pamela's got an idea.
What we should do into a full-length movie. Yeah, right. We have, you guys saw yesterday, we're out of stream. I have like a couple thousand videos.
It's actually absurd.
It's a year and a half worth of videos. Yes, a lot of custom edits and like a lot of videos that we've never even used or shown. I showed them the video yesterday of JD Vance accepting a handshake from the guy that gave him the old Hitler salute.
Our favorite video that no one ever even acknowledged.
Right, we sent that video to everybody we knew,
and
it did not blow up. And we did it all before the election. We caught that shit before the election, and we're like, hold up. So we knew what was coming. We knew what was coming, and everything that's happened between then and now has kind of reaffirmed what we've feared. And at the end of the show, we're going to go ahead. Like, this has been kind of fun for me to do, and I think we're going to incorporate it into every stream somehow. But we're going to look at Donald Trump's past 24 hours of Truth Social just to show you guys he is truly losing his fucking mind. A lot of them are. Marjorie Taylor Greene, bro. Marjorie Taylor Greene got an argument with Grok.
Yep. I just read that before the show today.
For those who don't know who Grok is, that is the AI that Elon Musk is using on Twitter. Marjorie Taylor Greene got in a fucking argument with artificial intelligence. Oh my God. When I say it out loud, it's so funny, dude. It's so funny. She's talking about God and stuff like that and being a Christian. And Grok was like, yeah, she doesn't really act like a Christian. And she got super mad and started arguing with Grok on Twitter, bro. That is the world we live in. But also
I-
regarding Donald Trump's mental decline,
that can't
they
even,
are
like,
scrubbing the White House website of his transcripts.
yep,
They are
that is, by
actively
the way,
wiping.
illegal because
Yeah,
everything that happens in the Oval Office, in the White House, and on any moment that the president is acting as the president, which is all the
hmm
time,
right,
those belong to the people. He is a servant of the people. Those are
right,
our records to know what our government did in our stead when we
yeah,
put them there. So the
bro,
fact that they are erasing them tells you all you need to know. Okay. It's the
yeah,
same reason that they were stealing documents and they were trying to have phone calls on private servers. They're hiding what they're doing while they're telling you what they're doing by their actions. And
right.
guess what? Who's going to stop them?
I don't know at this point. I don't know. I just got to sit back and laugh so I don't cry. All right, so let me first play a quick montage. I believe this was made by The Daily Show. Hope I don't get in trouble for playing it. If I do, I'll just edit it out afterwards or whatever. So if you're watching this show afterwards and you don't see this clip after I just introduced it, it's because YouTube got mad at me and made me delete it. But this is just a fun montage of Donald Trump, obviously all having problems speaking for quite a while now.
For Europe, the Nazis, the invasion of Normandy, and the liberation of Europe. A brilliant star shone in the east, wise men traveled far. Really big beneficiaries. Whole state to be a sanctuary for criminals. Shield and shelter criminal. Look, wait. The members of our armed forces, and you understand that very well. And the internet,
You
as
do
you
understand
think
that
about
very
this,
well.
rich transition, the traditions of this peninsula, expectations in the House for the midterm and midterm year. Waive all applicable state taxes despite these obstacles. The Central Command response and crisis response. President Franklin Delano Roosevelt as Hurricane Irma approaches. And he voted for
Irma.
Obama.
Obama.
Dude, another good video to watch is him saying oranges over and over again. The oranges, the oranges. It's like he's trying to say origins, but he can't get it out of his head. He keeps saying oranges over and over again. UK
Oh,
and
I forgot
Australian
about
news,
the
it's not a bad
oranges
idea.
one.
There are so many videos that we could play. We could probably make a 2-hour long feature film of just shit Donald Trump has said.
We
Just
could
clips, yeah.
also spend
The
all of
corn
our time
speech.
just playing videos like that to make fun of him. And as dumb as it is and as funny as it is, that's step number one. This
Right.
thing has had mental degradation for long enough now that it should have been the number one thing that the media reported. Instead, we have Jake Tapper deciding to write about Joe Biden and what may or may not have been hidden about his health. Look, let me tell you something. If the Democratic Party hid knowledge about Joe Biden, okay, that's important. We need to know that. Why? Because as people that are progressive, we don't just protect our party because they're our party. We hold them accountable too. But I'll tell you what's more important than anything about that, considering the fact that Joe Biden not only dropped out of the race, but is not our current president, is the fact that our current president doesn't even know what executive orders he's signing. He doesn't even know what words he's saying mean. He doesn't even know where he is. So when we play videos of showing him fumbling over words, it's because it is the indicator of something much larger at play. We have an absolutely brain dead thing sitting in the Oval Office.
He has been going
controlled
around
by many different facets.
He's been going around arguing that stealth jets are ugly because of the way they're shaped, and he doesn't like the way they're shaped, and he doesn't really believe that they need to be shaped that way to be stuff. Like, this guy is out of his mind. Okay,
look,
the
Jeremy,
guy who thought wind turbines cause cancer. He thought whales were beaching themselves because they were mad about wind turbines.
Look,
seriously,
I'm going to put an end to this right now. We got to stop trashing Donald Trump's intelligence because his uncle taught at MIT.
At MIT, that's right. I forgot. And they're related.
Clearly, that's how intelligence works.
Right,
leads into the lowest common denominator.
Right.
Anyway.
Okay, so let's get into it. All right, let's get into it. We have some videos just to show you from the start that Donald Trump he doesn't know what he's signing. Okay, he's basically just signing autographs, and then
he doesn't even know how to pretend. Like, at least if he could say, "Oh, this is one about this, 2 words, it's great." Nope. And there's a point in this video where you can tell his reaction is because he doesn't understand a word out of the mouth out of the person who explained it to him. It's the only explanation for his response.
All right, so first I'll play the inauguration one day one, when he's pretty much dismantled everything that Joe Biden did for whatever reason. He could have left everything in place and not touched anything and just played golf and shut the fuck up. And America would have been prospering. But no, they had to do this Nazi Project 2025 stuff. So I want to get into the Heritage Foundation stuff. So let's get through the Trump stuff first. Here is him on day one, literally asking the guy next to him. And it's always that, I think Boris Epstein, the guy who was involved in stealing the documents. I believe it's that guy, but he literally looks at him on day one and goes, "Why don't you explain what this is?"
Why don't you say what I'm signing?
Sure. The first item that President Trump is signing is the rescission of 78 Biden-era executive actions.
Why don't you say what I'm signing?
Executive orders, presidential memoranda, and others.
Why don't you say what I'm signing?
The second item, President Trump, is a regulatory freeze, as you announced in your speech, preventing bureaucrats from issuing any more regulations until we have full control of this, the government, this administration.
Why don't you say what I'm signing?
Sir, can I have a pen? The next item, sir, is a freeze on all federal hiring, excepting the military and a number of other excluded categories, again, until full control of government is achieved and we understand the objectives of government going forward.
Could you imagine Biden doing this? I don't think so. I don't think so.
Signing a piece of paper?
Yeah, but wait, what? That's what I don't understand.
Yeah. And they cheer. And they're cheering. What are you cheering for? You don't even know what you're cheering for.
You know what I imagine Biden doing that Trump didn't do? Shake the hands of all the West Point graduates, because Trumpy, which we have a video of, Jeremy was kind enough to get, where he's blathering about something and then immediately runs away when the camera isn't on him. But every other president before him has stayed to shake the hand of every West Point cadet that graduates, except Donald Trump, because he doesn't give a fuck about the military. Just
no. Actually, I don't have that video. I have the one where
you don't?
he stuns him into silence with the trophy wipe.
Yeah, that's the one. It's the same trick, basically.
It's the same point. It doesn't matter. He's just total disregard for the military. If you guys want to see my live reaction to Donald Trump officially announcing this whole parade on his birthday on the Army's 250th anniversary, you can see my live reaction to it yesterday. I was pissed. Because this what, four to six times he dodged the draft because of bone spurs. He's disrespected the military. He's taken away benefits. He's firing people at the VA. And you want to hold a military parade? Fuck off, man.
And also let's hold reservation, or let's reserve our reactions till tomorrow, when he's probably going to release some vile, despicable shit. Not only about his enemies and the Democrats and everyone who hates him, but he's going to say something stupid about the military. He's going to be about manliness, and we have the biggest guns, and our guns are so big and beautiful. The guy has no respect for anything, and he has no ability to even think his way through signing his name on executive orders. He doesn't know what they are. He's just there to be a figurehead. He's there. He thinks he's on The Apprentice again. Just go there, wave for the camera.
There's insiders saying that just cash is flowing into his pockets. 40%, I think, of his current wealth is because of his meme coin, and he just launched it before he fucking took office.
Yes, but idiot Barbie at who likes to cover for him at the press briefing said there is no way he is benefiting from this because he's attending that dinner. It's a private dinner. Not personal time.
Right. She could have screwed him over with the Supreme Court ruling, because remember, the Supreme Court ruling said he's immune from official acts. Well, she just said that he's basically taking bribes from very undesirable people like Justin Sun.
So, not as an official act. Oh, good point, dude.
Justin Sun, who was Donald Trump's #1 donor, was charged by the SEC and was under investigation for fraud. Until he started donating until Donald Trump's meme coin. Now he's not. He's a free man, and he got a gold watch and got to shake Donald Trump's hand and go on stage and all that.
And did you see how many people showed up to his dinner with masks on?
I know. People that don't even want to be identified. Like, what reality are we in?
Like, there are people going to the president's meme coin dinner, okay, so that they could all play with each other and grift off each other and buy the presidency, and they're wearing masks.
Yeah.
Okay. And you know what the worst part is? This is what gets me. This is what they paid for. This meal.
I know. Everybody keeps calling it Walmart steak. Maybe they're Trump steaks. Maybe they're leftover Trump steaks.
I can't identify what the hell I'm looking at.
Is that chicken?
I don't know, but someone on Instagram where I originally posted this said it looks like monkfish, which is poor man's lobster, which would not shock me. But if that's chicken, that is not a whole piece of chicken.
No, and you paid how much for that? Like a few $100,000 just to get that?
What is that thing? Is that a broccoli or is that squash?
I don't know.
The carrots are clearly strategic.
It looks like one of those old TV dinners you used to heat up in the microwave back in the day. One of those Hungry Man dinners. But yeah, so whatever, that's good for you. Good. I'm glad you got ripped off by the world's biggest con artist. What did you expect? You know what I mean? And most of them didn't even get to meet Donald Trump. There's another funny story going around. I'm getting off topic here, so I got to get into it. But there's another funny story. If you go online, you can find a picture of a guy who spent $640 on a Trump watch for his wife, and it came in missing the T.
He bought a watch for who knows how much, and when he got it, it said rump on it. Like, rump. You can't make this shit up.
Yeah. That's hilarious. And I said, good. That's what you get. All right, let's get back into it.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, here's Donald Trump telling the person who is explaining stuff, you do such a good job at this. Well,
this is the video that I think his reaction is, wow, I don't even know what the fuck you just said, but it sounded good.
Right.
Tell me
and then right. This is hilarious.
The purpose of this executive order is to recenter policymaking around gold standard science, scientific efforts that have followed appropriate scientific methods that don't include those sorts of conflicts of interest, and to ensure that when departments and agencies are relying on scientific studies to promulgate rules, to promulgate regulations, that the science that they're relying on is highly reliable and available to the public.
He did a very good job, didn't he? How many people here could have done that, huh?
Not you, apparently, because you don't explain anything. But when you do explain stuff, it is hilarious. Like the one I'm pretty sure this is everybody. Heritage Foundation these are all Heritage Foundation policies that Donald Trump is passing with more sprinkled on top because, we got a Golden Dome now that we're building as well. That wasn't part of Project 2025. So that is the Trump idea, I think. They're just appeasing to Trump because now he sounds like an insane person. We're going to build a missile defense system around the entire country. Okay, Grandpa, whatever makes you happy.
You know what's funny? Oh, my God, I just thought of something. Let's say somehow they fund the Golden Dome and they do it, right? There is going to be a video when they show him a missile installation. And he's like, I don't see the dome. Is the dome stealth? Is it invisible? Where's the dome?
Where's the gold?
There's a dome.
Where's the gold? Why is it not gold?
Dr. Who fan, thank you so much.
Dr. Who fan, donating some more, man. Appreciate you. Oh, I guess that was a good tough time since enough people were on here. If you guys are willing to, please go to the link tree in the description of this video or on our channel page. I'm trying to raise money for my son and I to go to Washington, D.C. If you guys have seen videos, there's a massive, massive nationwide protest on D-Day across the country, but the main hub of it is going to be in D.C. We had one of the organizers on this show. I'm going to be there meeting some very important people. Dropkick Murphys are going to be playing at this event. I am desperately trying to raise money because I'm a poor person to get there. So if you guys could go to the link tree, the top link is specifically for, I would really like to take my son to Washington, D.C. My father, I grew up visited D.C. a lot as a kid. My father used to take me there. So I want to take him for his first time. It'll be his first protest and it's supposed to be massive. So I want to live stream it to bring it to you. And so if you can help me get there, I promise that we'll get you some incredible footage the day of. Damn, that was my best pitch so far. If you guys, why can't I do that all the time? If you guys please find it in you. Okay, we desperately need to get there. We have to be. This is history. This is American history right now that we're participating in.
Everyone who can document it needs to, because it is going to become an issue when they start erasing more than just transcripts.
Bro, I'm so glad you said that on every one of my live streams. I've been telling people you need to go to a protest. I've been telling them take precautions and be careful because there are risks, obviously. But when you're there, take your phone out. It doesn't matter if it's Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube. Just click your live button and just hold your camera up and walk around. You don't have to narrate it. You don't even have to have the microphone on. if you don't want to. You don't have to be in the video like what we do.
Just
we have to increase the amount of content that is out there, and the corporate media is not going to do it. Donald Trump and them are trying to suppress it. It is up to us to do it. The people, we have power, but we have to do this collectively as a whole. Yeah. All right, man. This is some show, so I'm fired up.
Hell.
I know, right? All right. So anyway, going back to Donald Trump, this is what happens when Donald Trump explains stuff, and I'm pretty sure this is why they don't let him explain most things, because I'm pretty sure this was his idea too. He hates paper straws. So this is him signing the executive order, and he explains though why he hates paper straws. And the one part of it is just
fascinating.
Freaking fascinating. Yes, let's play this real quick.
Next, this is an executive order relating to the use of paper straws. As you've consistently identified, nobody really likes paper straws.
The guy's laughing behind him.
I know. I believe it, a paper straw. It was #1 trending for 3 days.
It was not #1 trending.
The environmental impact of plastic straws versus paper straws is entirely unclear. This has cost both the government and private industry an absolute ton of money and left consumers all over the country wildly dissatisfied with their straws. So we're
wildly dissatisfied with their straws.
To look at their existing procurement processes.
Wildly
dissatisfied. Policy Council to look holistically at this issue to address it, and it really is something that affects ordinary Americans in their everyday lives.
We're going back to plastic straws. These things don't work. I've had them many times, and on occasion they break, they explode. It's hot. They don't last very long, like a matter of minutes, sometimes a matter of seconds. It's a ridiculous situation.
It's ridiculous, guys. They explode. They explode.
I probably have said this the last time we were talking about this video, and I'm going to say it again.
It's so funny.
If you have never sat next to someone smoking Newports and seen their cigarette explode, you have not spent enough time around someone who is smoking Newports, because 2 times in my life, I have watched Newport cigarettes explode while someone was smoking them. I have never in my life, and I repeat this, seen a piece of paper that was drawing liquid through it explode. Come on.
I know, does the Diet Coke react with the paper somehow that we don't know?
Yeah, is it a Mentos situation?
A chemical reaction that we're out of. Okay, all right. So if you guys, in all seriousness, if you've been injured by a paper straw accident, please reach out to us. We would love to interview.
Class action lawsuit being put together.
Right.
It's called the victims of paper straw explosions.
That's hilarious. We should do that. We should start an organization for that. All right. Anyway,
if we were wonderfully unethical, like the right, we could start something called that, like a website, like a domain name, and get people to donate to us. We could take MAGA's money off of that.
I know. You know what I'm worried about though, with him purging the White House of all his transcripts, is now every time he says something crazy, they're just going to blame it on AI, which they've done a million times before. They're like, it's just AI. Yeah, but you seen the new videos, man? That new AI system that I think Google's got coming out.
Getting a little creepy,
bro. They're making whole movies, like whole scenes, real people. I'm freaked out. Like, are we AI?
Hey,
are we in the Matrix, bro? Like,
only the algorithm knows. All hell, the algorithm.
Going on, man? Seriously, I'm freaking out. All right. Anyway. Let's go to Donald Trump speaking at West Point just to prove that his brain is cooked. And then I'll play a video of him while I was walking into a wall. Mike Johnson saved him from that. Also, if you haven't seen the video of Caroline Leavitt being freaked out by a black man standing next to her in the Capitol building, you've got to see that video. It's fucking funny, bro. The racism is so bad. Like, you can see it on her face. She's literally pointing at him like, are you going to do something? I was like, oh my God, they're not even hiding their racism anymore. It's just out in the open for everybody to see. Fuck, man. All right. So here is him, West Point. Like, they were stunned into silence. Like, this is their future commander in chief. They're about to be officers in the military. Okay. That's what happens. You go from West Point and then you become a lieutenant or whatever in the military and serve your term. That's the whole reason you go to West Point for the most part.
The scary thing here is it's not, well, there's what he says to them is it's random nonsense that makes no sense. Like if I told you what he said, you wouldn't believe me, so you're going to see it. But one aspect of it that he did say that is absolutely so delusional, it goes to show you that he either has no idea what's going on or he's a complete mental reject.
Right.
He actually says to the cadets that are graduating right there that the military is better now that he's in command because no one wanted to join under Biden. The people that are graduating joined 4 years ago under Biden.
I know, now they're like, fuck, I gotta serve under this guy. I don't know, man. I don't know. But here's him stunning the crowd into silence. First, he's wearing a MAGA hat. The president of the United States.
First of all, that should be illegal because MAGA is a campaign slogan. He should not be allowed to wear that hat now.
Yeah, MAGA is an extremist group, religious zealots. Yeah. So here you go. Trophy wives.
A trophy wife. It didn't work out too well, but it doesn't. That doesn't work out too well. I must tell you, a lot of trophy wives doesn't work out, but it made him happy for a little while at least. But he found a new wife. He sold his little boat and he got a big yacht. He had one of the biggest yachts anywhere in the world.
I have no idea.
He moved for a time to Monte Carlo and he led the good life. And time went by and he got bored. And 15 years later, the company that he sold to called him and they said, the housing business is not for us. You have to understand, when Bill Levitt was hot, when he had momentum, he'd go to the job sites every night. He'd pick up every loose nail. He'd pick up every scrap of wood. If there was a bolt or a screw laying on the ground, he'd pick it up and he'd use it the next day in putting together a house.
All right, look. I am not a medical doctor. I do not have any medical training. What I do have is the experience of watching my grandmother go through dementia and eventually die from Alzheimer's. And I'm telling you right now, if you are in any way cognizant of what's going on around you, even Trump, older Trump, think about this. First term Trump should have been able to give a speech at West Point about military might and greatness and whatever patriotic bullshit you want to talk about. But he's standing there dropping names about random property developers, probably from the 70s or 80s, talking about wives and trophy wives and real estate deals. He doesn't know where he is. His brain is just reiterating old fragments of memories. That's fucking weird.
Yeah, and he has.
Tell me that's coherent.
Right. We even did a show once, I think, where we compared to him from 2016 to now, and there's a massive difference. We have no idea, Pamela. We have no fucking clue who he was talking about. He's gone, though. He's gone. He's completely gone. Jeanette, again. Jeez,
thank you so much.
Right?
And you know what?
Guys are amazing.
Look, we spend time on Instagram. We spend barely any time on Facebook. And we understand that a lot of social media now is something that we have to fight to get messages through. Boycott whatever you want to boycott. You do you, because all boycotting is going to help in some way. We already saw what it's doing at Target. We see what it's doing at McDonald's and other fast food places. Boycott the shit out of everything you think it's worth boycotting. But thank you for donating.
Yeah, if we didn't do this show, I probably wouldn't have any social media at the moment.
At this point.
It's toxic. It's toxic. But anyway, here's also Trump walking into a wall almost. Mike Johnson saves his ass. And then we're going to talk about the Heritage Foundation. I think we should be focused on them. I think we need to stop. I think Trump is the distraction, and Heritage Foundation is waiting in the wings to just take over, or waiting in the wind, whatever this saying is, to take over.
Big hug. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
Okay. They're going to laugh.
Hold on, you idiot. I'm this way.
That's there you go, Gramps. Column. There you go. Yeah, where were you going? He's gone, man. I think the pressure and the stress of all this, I don't think
not about this one.
Arnold. Oh, that's right. He did go on a rant about Arnold Palmer's penis and how big it was.
It's the most
that
lovely
was
penis.
A weird one.
I particularly enjoy his penis. He used to show it to me all the time.
I know. It's like, you ever see him in the locker room? Oh my! I'm like, dude, Donald Trump just needs to come out of the closet. I mean, he's already, you know what I mean? He's already doing like the hair and the makeup and the costume and
Look,
all
he
that.
can come out of the closet. He used to come out of the diaper. That's what it's called for him.
No, please don't come out of the diaper. Anyway, all right, let's get into Russ vote. And I can't believe that's so embarrassing. Imagine him like soiling himself in a foreign country with foreign leaders, just sitting there smelling like shit. And they're like, that's America. And we're like, God damn it. We can't do anything about it, man.
You think the Qatari airplane that they gave him has like modern cleaning and like bathing stuff? Because they need heavy duty spray hoses and nozzles to clean that guy.
There was a guy on The Apprentice that was his whole job was to change Donald Trump, allegedly, according to an actual video that we have in file here. It was on the Midas Touch Network. They nicknamed the guy Wet Wipes. Wet Wipes. That's what he did it so often that they called the fucking guy who wiped Donald Trump's ass. Like, I always think of Coming to America. That's Wipe Us. Seriously, man, this is embarrassing. Come on. And then we have the head of the military who has a makeup.
You know what? Shit, I'm not sure. Someone on Instagram, name is not necessary. I've been talking to them throughout the show, and they said this was disgraceful in front of the kids. I'm going to assume they're talking about the West Point thing, because it's not just graduates there, it's faculty, it's family, and this guy's talking about trophy wives and real estate deals when those families are there to watch their kids, their family members, whoever it is, make this commitment to serve their country. And the commander-in-chief is like, trophy wives, they're great, they're good, because if you have a trophy, it means you won.
That's a good point. That's literally the most proud moment of these kids' lives, and that was the speech that they got. That's funny. Anyway, you guys always, not you guys, a lot of you guys believe what we say because we like to back it up. There are some skeptics out there who do not believe there is a shadow government running the United States of America right now, and it is Kevin Roberts and Russ Vought and the Heritage Foundation and J.D. Vance, because J.D. Vance is a Heritage Foundation plant. He was groomed by the Heritage Foundation. He was groomed by Peter Thiel, all those guys. He's been funded by them since he got out of college. Or since he was in college. But anyway, in case you don't believe us, here's Russ Vought literally saying they're going to set up shadow departments within the government, okay? Creator of Project 2025, one of them, literally saying it, okay? So there's not any doubt out there.
Right? We're not making this up.
Right, but this is not allegedly. This is him saying it, and we're going to show it to you right now.
And in our time in the administration, we lived in this place most of the time in the Oval Office. We would put forward some policy solution, and then we'd have the lawyers come in and say it's not legal. You can't do that. That would overturn this precedent. There's a state law against that. This how is where so much of things break down in our country, and that's really what we specialize the most in. And we are trying to build at the Center for Renewing America almost a shadow Office of Management and Budget. We're trying to build a shadow Office of Legal Counsel so that when a future president says, what legal authorities do I need to shut down the riots, we want to be able to shut down the riots and not have the legal community or the defense community to come in and say that's an inappropriate use of what you're trying to do.
See?
So when they say riots, what they mean is, so here's the thing. When you got to listen to the language. They say riots because that's the language Trump and whoever else will use when the protests are so great and the strikes are so massive and wide-reaching that it's starting to cause problems in everyday life. That's when they're going to start dropping the hammer and say, we got to be able to stop these riots that put our nation at risk. Right. Because they will be taking away our free speech. They will be hiding in the shadows, ready to go, look what we've been doing. Look, we set this precedent in this court record. We made sure we put people over there that'll be loyal to our movement, loyal to what we want to do with the government, not loyal to what the people vote for, not loyal to what polls tell you, not loyal to what the president wants, loyal to what the Heritage Foundation wants.
Yeah.
So if anybody for the Heritage Foundation,
right?
Why are they doing this? Who are they?
I mean, not that we need more information at this point because everything's out in the open, but if anybody's out there good at investigating, we would love to get into the history of Kevin Roberts and Russ Vought. I would love that. I would love to do. I'm serious. I really want to start doing deep dives. If we can ever get funding for the show, dude, we are going to tear these people apart. I mean, we're going to be a thorn in their side. But it all starts by exposing who exactly is behind it all. And it's these guys right here. I think Donald Trump is just the distraction that they're going to eventually dispose of. And I don't mean in that way. I mean 25th Amendment him, because he is obviously losing his mind very quickly. And put JD Vance in place. Because JD Vance, in this next video, Kevin Roberts admits they are very personal friends. Okay, that's the only. Everybody wondered, why JD Vance? Who is JD Vance? JD Vance is part of the Heritage Foundation, and he is the reason that he's the vice president and was the nomination. It's because the Heritage Foundation went to Donald Trump and said, you're going to do this guy. Okay. This is all theory, but I'm pretty sure if we dig deep enough, it wouldn't be hard to back it up. Okay. And yeah, Donald Trump has spoke at Heritage Foundation events too. So it's not like it's hard to tie these people together. You know what I'm saying? But in here, I also have Donald Trump actually shaking the hand of Kevin Roberts as well. So here you go.
Come up with the plan that on the victory, the third victory, the second term, we hit the deck plates runner, right? There's 4,000 appointees by a president, 4,000 to run the entire government. 1,000 of those, I think, have to be Senate confirmed. But 3,000 can start work day one. Walk through what you guys are doing.
What we're doing with Project 2025 is we're recruiting the MAGA America First Republicans right now so that we can take D.C. by storm.
We've confirmed news that Senator Vance is the vice presidential running mate. You will see a broad smile on my face because you may know that we're good friends. I will offer two comments about that. The first is the entire list of names considered are great men and women, truly, truly, all of them friends of Heritage. There, among them, though, was someone that privately we were really rooting for, and he's just been named the running mate. Why were we rooting for him? Not even because of politics and policy, but because of who he is.
Okay. There we go, guys. So that is how Heritage Foundation ties into the White House.
Loyal.
They have JD Vance in there.
Loyal to the Heritage Foundation.
Right.
Not the Constitution, not their oath, not the people who voted them into office, not democracy, not the American dream, not the flag. Loyal to the Heritage Foundation, a Christian nationalist business whose only purpose is to supplant democracy. That's it. Also, Jeanette.
Damn, Jeanette.
Thank you.
Killing me. Thank you so much. You deleted your ex on Instagram.
The most iconic thing is that all European boycott groups are on Facebook. I have deleted my ex account and Instagram, but I have found some European social media. Good.
Yeah. I post to Facebook, but only because when I post to Instagram, it cross post to Facebook. Other than that, I don't even go on Facebook anymore. But that's because I have 12 other social media accounts. Like, I gotta sacrifice one, man.
Dude, you are not a 12-year-old girl. Stop it. And I'm not even trying to be sexist here. I'm just saying, like, that's what. Come on.
It's just we follow so much news, we report on so much, and then I wish there was one big platform we could just all congregate on. But Blue Sky is getting there. I think.
Look, you know what the problem is? All social media, I think, at some point is going to inevitably be susceptible to the on-off switch. So what we have to do is, it's more than that. We keep talking about it. We got to build networks of people. They cannot kill the bonds people make. They cannot destroy the networks of people who communicate with each other off social media, places like YouTube, Instagram, off of all of that. They can't get that. That's why building these relationships, building these networks, getting people to remember how to think for themselves and share facts, that's what's important. But
yeah, I think that's what I like about the community we're building too, is we're becoming a place people can come hang out. Like on the live streams, that's what I feel like we're doing. We're just kind of hanging out, and I'm just going over news headlines and occasionally reading the comments and stuff like that. I mean, that's how I found out a lot about that's why we're doing the show on Tuesday, to deep dive into how the big, beautiful bill is just Project 2025, that they're damn close to signing into law. They're having problems in the Senate, fortunately, but let's see if they have a spine at all, or they end up capitulating to the Orange Clown King.
The difference that we're trying to make on the progressive side is to make sure that we can always back it up. We are not ranting and raving, trying to get you all riled up so that you send out that ranting and raving to people around you and just perpetuate the ranting and raving. We want you to perpetuate the facts. We want you to perpetuate the truth. And that's why we take time to try and show you the things that we claim, because that's how facts work. You make a claim, you go, oh shit, we can prove it.
Yeah, it's not hard to do. Sometimes it does take a little digging, but over the past year and a half, we've amassed quite a catalog of Project 2025 videos, enough that we could, I think, make a strong case as to, the fact that they are the shadow government. We're not just crazy. But here is Kevin Roberts again on MSNBC talking about how they're going to fire a bunch of people and hire MAGA loyalists. And they may even fire people like that. If you donated to a Democrat and you work for the federal government, your job is at risk. They were literally talking about this before the election, and now everybody's like, "Oh my God!" I
guess what? Political donations are legally protected free speech.
Yeah, according to the Supreme Court. Yeah. So there you go.
If Heritage is calling for removing 50,000 federal employees, who are you replacing them with? The number and where do they come from? I mean, even if it's not 50,000, if it's 10,000, if it's 2,000, where are they coming from, and who are you replacing them with? Because I suspect a lot of those people you're talking about have been in the federal service for a long time and have served not just Republican administrations, but also Democratic administrations, et cetera.
They have, and 95% of them who give political contributions give them to the Democratic Party. I reject out of hand, Michael, that somehow
you're going to fire someone because they wrote a check to a Democratic candidate.
No, we're going to fire someone, and the number needs to be more than 50,000, considering that there are more than 2 million federal employees. Because over the last century, the radical left has seen the administrative state as the fourth branch of government. They're unelected bureaucrats. Nothing against your dad, obviously, as a human being. You know that about me and Heritage, but ultimately,
nothing against your dad. I have black friends too.
Right. The irony of that is he is an unelected bureaucrat,
and that's
so is Elon Musk. They all.
Oh my God!
Shocker! And I just realized, yeah, it's crazy, absolutely crazy. I just realized they're using Elon Musk. That's how they use Doge, is to gut everything. So maybe Heritage is setting Elon Musk up for failure too. Could be one big hustle on their part, because they are smart. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. Donald Trump's an idiot. Elon Musk is an idiot. Everybody surrounding Donald Trump are idiots. But the Heritage Foundation, these people know what the fuck they're doing. That's why they're in the background. That's why they're not being allowed about their plan. They want everybody to focus on Trump and Elon and not them. But if we did focus on them, it would fully expose how much influence they've had in this administration.
No one wanted to listen. Everyone was like, there's no way they're going to. I think people were like, okay, maybe that's what they want to do, but there's no way that'll happen. And again, I'm not talking about MAGA, because MAGA would be for this. MAGA wants a Christian nationalist country because they're absolutely fucking idiots. But we're still trying to focus on the people who didn't vote. And a lot of those people were like, yeah, that's batshit crazy. There's no way it'll happen. Intellectually, they understood that if Republicans controlled all branch of government, there was a potential for it to happen. But we have gotten so complacent in this country to think that the status quo is a inevitability. Okay, maybe things stagnated, maybe things got bad, but it was maintained even in its barest form to not be fascism. And it is this easy to just lose an election and give power to one party that has told you how corrupt they are, that has told you what their plan is. And it's that easy, and that's it.
And some on the left don't get it either. Don't get me wrong. There's influencers out there like Mercedes Chandler on TikTok, who apparently is an ex-MAGA. There's all kinds of controversy surrounding her now. She was literally on a TikTok live talking about how we want to bring MAGA over with love. Like, what? What? No. Like, first of all, no. And her idea, literally, they were going to go to college campuses where Charlie Kirk was speaking. I'm not even making this up. They were going to hand out bag lunches with like sandwiches and Doritos and shit in it. And because of her vibe, because she's a former MAGA and she's now on the left and she's so cool and gives off good vibes, that they're just going to automatically want to leave.
But you know what the problem is?
Like, you're gonna get rid of generations of racism and hate by giving out bad fucking lunches. Are you stupid?
I'm glad.
And we don't. I'm sorry, like real quick.
Yeah,
real quick. We don't make friends with Nazis. We don't make friends with Nazis. If they want to realize they made a mistake, great. They can realize it on their own. But we're not bringing Nazis over to our side. That's not how this shit works, y'all. Okay? They can go wherever the fuck they want. I don't care. Great. You came to a realization you made a mistake. But I'm not going to waste a single breath on debating a MAGA over who's right or wrong. Get out of here. We got a lot of other shit we could focus on. Like Mike said, the people that didn't vote and the people that are going to vote. They need to know what's going on.
The irony is these people need to have a come to Jesus moment, if you will.
Please.
Because they need to, like, if you are currently someone who supports Donald Trump, you may not think you're a Nazi, but you are supporting Nazi, fascist, Christian nationalist bullshit. You may not even understand that you are, but you are. And at this point, when we've fixed it and then handed it back to them, and now we're seeing what they're doing with the big, beautiful bill, with firing this, with getting rid of the Department of Education, with just literally sending brown people out of the country. Okay. We don't waste time trying to convince Nazis not to be Nazis. If they want to figure it out on their own, fine. I'm more worried about why. In 2024, people still didn't, after seeing Project 2025 and everything, still didn't get the fuck out and vote. And that's why, as much as we're still going to make fun of all these people, we are going to start putting more time into showing that what we said was actually true, because it's happening. And we're going to just bombard these people with facts. We're not going to warn them. We're not going to preach to them. We're going to show people facts and go, look, this is what your vote or your lack of vote did.
Yep. So now we have to deal with this. Next video, we have 3 more videos to get through, and then we go to Donald Trump and see what he's posting on social media. Probably some dumb shit, I'm sure. Here is Kevin Roberts basically making a threat, saying that we are currently in the Second American Revolution, and it'll be bloodless as long as the left allows it to be. Okay. This is where we're at, guys. This was before the election. Again, we showed these videos before the election. We tried to warn everybody, but nobody listened because we're too small of a channel. Nobody took us seriously. But now we're hoping that people will take us seriously because we've been exposing it from day one. Here you go.
Can you imagine, Dave Bratt, any president, put politics off to the side, any president having to second guess, triple guess every decision they're making in their official capacity? You couldn't have the republic that you just described. But number 3, let me speak about the radical left. You and I have both been parts of faculties and faculty senates and understand that the left has taken over our institutions. The reason that they are apoplectic right now, the reason that so many anchors on MSNBC, for example, are losing their minds daily is because our side is winning. And so I come full circle in this response and just want to encourage you with some substance that we are in the process of the Second American Revolution, which will remain bloodless if the left allows it to be.
Right on. Thank you, brother. We'll be right.
Does that mean if we just let you march in and take down the American flag and put up a Christian nationalist flag that we're going to be like, all right, we'll let you do it?
No.
Never. So that was a threat. That was literally saying, if you stop us from destroying your democracy, then we'll have a physical problem. But if you just let us do it, it'll be fine.
But there's something very important that he said there that I think we need to get the mindset of. Okay, if they feel that they are now starting the Second American, like they're participating in the Second American Revolution.
This is like psychotic shit.
Right, but not just that, but we need to be in the same mindset as far as seriousness of the situation goes, is what I'm saying.
If someone's fighting a war against you, you're fighting a war.
Right. So if they already think they're in a war, we can't just sit back and be like, it'll get better.
That's just rhetoric. That's not real. They don't think that. They do think that.
Right. And since Trumpers all think that everything comes out of Donald Trump's mouth is taken out of context, maybe they'll watch these videos. And I don't know how you're going to explain this one away, but we're showing you the source of all of this. So, all right, we have 2 more videos and then we'll go to Donald Trump's True Social account. But here is Russ Vogt, the other piece of shit that is one of my focuses from here on out. He was interviewed by 2 British, they were undercover journalists, and they're posing as donors, potential donors. And he just basically spills his guts to them about the whole plan. So I cut it into 2 parts, but here, let me play the first part just to give you an idea. And then we'll get into the second part.
Meet Russ Vogt. Russell Vought, the former director of the Office of Management and Budget.
He's been called the most dangerous MAGA diehard you've never heard of.
I am opposed to the Department of Education because I think it's the Department of Critical Race Theory.
The Russ Vought were comrades in arms.
Formerly a cabinet member and chief lieutenant in the first Trump admin,
I want to thank Russ for doing an incredible job.
he now runs a group called Center for Renewing America.
An organization that I helped turn into the Death Star that is accomplishing all the debates that you are reading about. I think you have to rehabilitate Christian nationalism. You have the largest deportation in history, block funding for Planned Parenthood. I want to be the person that crushes the deep state.
Vought is one of the key authors of the blueprint for a second Trump administration.
Project 2025.
It's an ambitious 920-page blueprint.
Like eliminating the...
Funny enough, blocking funding for Planned Parenthood is in the big, beautiful bill.
Whoa, that's weird. It's almost like they already knew the bill that they wanted to pass, and they've been working on it specifically for years.
They probably had a first draft written before Donald Trump took office. Project 2025 is not new. It's just the first time we've really found out about it. They tried this Donald Trump's first term. It's kind of why we're in the situation we're in. Is they were able to implement like 2/3 of their policies. Now that when they found Trump getting into, they spent all their time and effort these last 4 years on propaganda and funneling money into Donald Trump's campaign to get him reelected so they could finish their agenda. And that's what they're doing. They know this is their last chance. I've seen videos of them say, we know this is our last chance. So if you're going to take over the United States and you're going to do it from within, and you know it's your last chance, how far are you willing to go?
All the way.
Ask yourself, you know what I'm saying? All the way, right. So
These are people that think they're in, they are people that think they are in this existential fight for the soul of America. And their side wants to destroy democracy and make it a fascist theocracy. Yep. They will do whatever it takes. They already stormed the Capitol. They already did those things, and we put him back in office. Mm-hmm. What do you think they're going to do? Not in 4 years, but in 2026, considering the fact that Republicans are already losing local elections, and they are very likely going to lose much of the power they gained in 2024. Do you really think Mike Johnson's going to go, I guess I'm not in charge anymore?
Right.
You really think that's going to happen?
Yeah, if this bill passes, Donald Trump will be above the law, above the courts, above everything, and we're cooked. We're cooked. So hopefully some senators realize that it's just scamming America, dude. They're just funneling money upwards, as if that's what pisses me off. Like, you don't have enough. You don't have enough. You have everything most of us could possibly dream of, if not more. Like, I'm sure some things you've seen and done are beyond even our imaginations, and you want more. Fuck off. I hope this is the year all the billionaires get what they deserve, for real. But here's the second video of Russ Vought talking about, because remember when Donald Trump distanced himself because Project 2025 got exposed more and more throughout the campaign. So what was the plan? Donald Trump was going to distance himself. Who came up with that idea? Heritage Foundation and Russ Vought. If you don't believe me, here's the video. We have videos for like everything for these people.
It's getting out of hand.
In recent weeks, the plans have become so controversial that Trump has been forced to distance himself.
They're sort of the opposite of the radical left, okay? You have the radical left and you have the radical right. And they come up with this, I don't know what the hell it is. It's Project 25.
Are you ready? I know nothing about Project 25. I haven't seen the document. I don't intend to really see the document.
But behind closed doors,
that I believe.
Vought tells us not to take Trump's disavowal seriously.
I expect you to hear 10 more times from the rally, the president, distancing himself from the left's boogeyman of Project 2025.
Yeah. And you're not worried about that?
I'm not worried about it.
Okay.
He's running against the brand. He is not running against any people.
Okay.
He is not running against any institutions. It's interesting. He's in fact not even opposing himself to a particular policy. Yeah. He's been at our organization. He's raised money for our organization. He's blessed it from I remember walking into our last day in office and told him what I was going to do. So he's very supportive of what we do.
Need more proof, guys?
Like, come on.
Donald Trump fully supports what they do. Words right out of the man's mouth. I don't know what other proof we could possibly provide. That's
Look,
the last video.
Look, there's something people need to understand. Donald Trump isn't someone who has principles, morals, or holds any ideology whatsoever. Donald Trump doesn't align philosophically with Heritage Foundation or Project 2025. He's a fake religious person who, as grifters do, will use any tool at their disposal to get the most amount of people to send him the most amount of money. Right. So when you look at his little crypto coin venture, which is just pay the president and I'll do whatever you want. When you look at the quid pro quo of sending contracts to Qatar and other places in the Middle East and getting a plane in return, like this man is not someone who has any moral structure. There is no low. He will do whatever the highest bidder asks of him. So when people say, well, you know, we've never seen him talk about things at the Heritage, it doesn't matter. They are his masters. They own his vice president. What do you think? The guy that's reading off the executive orders to him before he signs it isn't part of that plan? Of course. Everyone surrounding Donald Trump is part of the Heritage Foundation Project 2025 implementation team. They told you it. They told you.
Mm-hmm. They literally told you. So yeah, that's our proof, guys. That's all the proof that we have that Donald Trump is not running shit. He's the mouthpiece. He's in it solely to benefit himself. He's in it for the money. He's in it so he doesn't go to prison. That's the only reason he's in it right now. He doesn't care about these policies because he doesn't believe in anything but the almighty dollar. You know what I'm saying? Like all he cares about is how can I enrich myself. So whatever they put in front of him, he's at their disposal now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think he realizes how disposable he is because now the Heritage Foundation has control of the White House, of the government. They had Elon Musk and Doge run through our systems and fire everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, this was all Heritage Foundation from the start, guys. So, yeah.
By the way, anyway, where are all the arrests for all the fraud that they apparently
found? I know, yeah, fraud is illegal last time I checked. So, maybe, I don't know, maybe they...
What the fuck is that? What is that?
He posted, I always said golf can be a dangerous sport. My friend being bit at Bedminster. I like how he's taking a picture of his friend and not helping him as he gets attacked by.
Also, he's not taking it. He doesn't know how to operate a phone.
No. What does that say? Deep? This is so stupid, dude. Like he posts like a teenager. What I do is I go back 24 hours. And I start
just see what his day. Yeah, it's a good idea.
Oh, yeah, there we go. All right, so we got the nuclear reforming stuff. He doesn't know anything about that. The Army Academy. That was, oh my God, I can't believe you post those videos for reposting stuff by DC Drano. This guy is sick in the head.
Like if there's a thing that goes underneath a leech and sucks what's left over from that, that's what he is.
Yeah, so he's a complete conspiracy theorist, nut job, right winger, and Donald Trump is reposting stuff from him. There's censorship on YouTube. It's not showing up. I don't know, man. There's censorship everywhere anymore.
Yeah.
What the hell? Drugs coming to America from Iran?
Also, that is a British fucking ship.
Yeah, what?
What? Oh. What?
Okay, Royal Navy. Okay, great. Why?
Okay.
I doubt that was even a drugs coming to the United States. He's been making shit up, bro. Like, look how much he posts. Oh wait, hold on. I'm not on Donald Trump's feed. Yeah, hold on. I'm getting there. Okay, so we got that. West Point.
What is that ad? What is that ad? Go back up to. I used to post on Instagram like every week a bunch of ads from them because it's all just
really
shit.
Oh,
yeah, I gotta start doing that. I haven't been on there in a while.
Attacking Harvard. Okay. Why isn't Harvard saying that almost 31% of their students are from foreign lands?
They do. No one's hiding that.
Why?
That's not like a hidden thing.
No, that's well known. Fucking Google it.
A thing.
So now he's complaining that we have foreign students. That we're supposed to be the hub of higher education.
My God. Yeah, but now Harvard's like, all right, asshole, we're just going to offer free classes on the Constitution and democracy and fascism.
Well, you know what's happening is the EU is now stepping in, saying we're going to be the hub of education. So if you want to we're going to dump a bunch of money into it. So
they've already invited.
Well, everybody's going to go to the EU. Yep. To Europe. They're going to go to study in Europe and get degrees, higher education. And then we're not going to have any good doctors.
Nope.
we're going to have basically, it's idiocracy. It's idiocracy. It truly is. All right, but that's it for today. Not much posting from the American Clown King. Last 24 hours, unfortunately, except for that one post. This guy's nuts. Thank you guys for watching. We'll be back on. We're going to take a break tomorrow because it is. We'll have a good holiday. Stay safe. We'll be back on Tuesday night. We don't have a clue what we're talking about yet. Oh, wait, no. Yeah, we do. We're digging into the big, beautiful bill. I'm so dumb. We're digging into the big, beautiful bill. Just delete that part. Anyway,
basically, we're going to show you the final piece of the puzzle. We showed you today the Heritage Foundation has been working to get people in place in government positions to support a fascist takeover of the government. And that fascist takeover is going to take the legal form of Project 2025 being implemented through the big, beautiful bill.
Yep. So so consider this a 2-part series. First, exposing that the Heritage Foundation and all those guys are the ones behind everything that's happening right now. And they're being smart. They're doing it quietly in the background.
Eastern, Pamela.
Yep. 9 p.m. Eastern on Tuesdays. I'll also be streaming throughout the week. And then next week, I got to really, really hunker down and start raising some funds to get to DC. So again, just to promote it, we do have a link tree in the description of the video. It's also on our channel page, whichever platform you're watching on, or in our bios. The link tree, top link on the link trees, are GoFundMe for me to go to Washington, D.C. Again, we've been invited by American Opposition. We know one of the guys that's helped organize this event, and is supposed to be one of the most massive, if not the most massive, veteran organized nationwide protest in U.S. history. And the goal is to have a bigger crowd there than on Trump's birthday the following week. And I'll be the following week on Trump's birthday. I'll be in a rally in Atlantic City with Tom and them. And again, we have actually.
I haven't decided if I can or can't go to that one, but
that's fine. Yeah, so with your help, I'll get down there and live stream it all for you. So we're gonna have a lot of content coming in, on location content coming in the next couple of weeks. So stay tuned for that. If you could donate, please do. If not, just share this video, comment, interact with it, share it on other platforms. We'd really appreciate your help, and we love you all. Have a good rest of your day. Like always.